It's all right, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just giving it a quick review.
Is it an electric one?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Wow, look at those.
Yes, I've just done 30 miles on it. Didn't even break a sweat.
Really?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh. If you're going down there, it might sink into the...
Definitely not. You can walk straight over sand with it, apparently. What up, mongrels? And welcome to today's edition of an anti-cyclist reviews another e-bike. And today's edition, we have the Engwe E26 fat tyre, 7-speed, 250 watt e-bike. Some things on this I really like, some things not so much. I'll go through a basic run over of what you got, and then you can have a look at some cycling footage. I'm 10 miles in to a 30-mile trip. First and foremost, let's start up here. You've got a nice big displays what speed you're going, trip, odometer, all that sort of jazz, as you can see. A couple of flappy paddle handlebars, which are really quite comfortable. A throttle that you can disconnect, and a rather loud bell. I like the bell, for some reason, I really like the bell. Up and down pedal assist here, a way to turn your lights on and off. There. 4-inch fat tyres on the front with hydraulic brakes. Entry-level front suspension, which you can lock or open, dependent on your situation. As you come on down, let's go to the battery. A 48 watt, 16 amp hour battery. Apparently, if ridden right, is capable of 140 kilometres. That's give or take, what, 85, 89, 90 miles? I've yet to see it. I'm doing 30 miles today. I had almost a full battery when I left. You'll find out by the end of the video how it copes. Hopefully I should have about half battery left, because I'm guessing it will do about 60 miles. One thing I do really like about this bike is, as you know, bike seats are just a thing of torture. The bike seat itself is a bike seat, a little bit wider, maybe a smidgen more padding on it, but it's an entry-level suspension seat post. 10 miles today I've done down here, and with the fat tyres and that suspension seat post, my monkey stump is actually feeling okay. As you move towards the back of the bike, you have got a luggage rack that will be able to carry Gemma Collins. Big fat tyres again, more hydraulic brakes, 7-speed tawny, as I say, metal mudguards front and back. Oh, let's turn that on. And one thing I really like about this bike, and more e-bikes should have it, brake lights. So, let's run you through, oh, is that the one I wanted? Let's run you through a few things that I like about this bike. You disconnect the throttle. It comes as a 250 watt, 15.5 mile an hour bike straight from the back. You can easily crank up the speed. Obviously this is currently set to legal limits. I'm doing a big old ride. The old bill pulled me over. I'm too pretty for jail. So it's set at 15.5 mile an hour. I did, however, crank it up to see exactly what it did do when it was unrestricted. Throttle alone, it done 24 miles an hour. When I was pedalling, it done 28 mile an hour without me breaking a sweat. The weird thing with this bike, and I don't know how they've done it, it has got the same gearing as my other e-bike that I tested out. When I was in top gear in that other e-bike, and I topped out at 15.5 mile an hour, my legs were going around like they were beating eggs. With this one, for some reason, at 28 mile an hour, you're just starting to get into the territory of being a little bit too fast. By no means are you doing the road runner. Your legs just start to get a little bit too fast at 28 mile an hour. 13 mile an hour difference. Don't know what they've done. I like the fact they've done it. But this brings me on to the first negative with this bike. You're going to have to watch the rest of the review. I'm only 10 miles in, but I think when I do take this out on a camp, which will be very soon, this will come into play. When you're on pedal assist mode, it takes 2 seconds for the motor to kick in, which isn't a big deal when you're on the flat, when you're on the road, if you're in the right gear. So obviously your gear control is key. If you're off-road on this and you've been coasting down a hill, and you get to a little technical section going up with roots, whatever, and you need that power instantly, it's not there. If you're not in the right gear, you're going to be in a bit of trouble, and then 2 seconds later that's going to kick in. Probably just going to take a bit of getting used to. The other one I rode had a torque sensor, which was almost instant, and it gave you the power where you was putting it down. I believe this is a cadence sensor. As long as your pedals are turning, it's giving you power. Personal preference? Maybe. The tyres offer a lot more road resistance, although it is so far from what I found. You know, I've not done the Tour de France in it. Still manageable to pedal without pedal assist. You do notice it, they're big old tyres. Stuff like sand and off-road, I certainly haven't felt like I'm coming off this. Very good, I appreciate that. Now, here's the thing. The throttle, which you can disconnect. If that throttle is operable, is that the correct word? If that throttle is working and plugged in, you can do away with that 2 second delay. Because you can twist the throttle, then start pedalling, take the throttle off, and then wait the 2 seconds, but you are under steam. But as we know over here, throttles are only allowed up to about 4 mile an hour walking pace, which this, maybe in the settings, have a look. There are better reviewers out there than me. So you sort of need the throttle even though it's illegal. The fact that I could commute on this bike at near enough 30 mile an hour, if I'm willing to break the law, is a big plus to me. The law needs to be changed. 15.5 mile an hour is just too slow in my opinion. I get the arguments, heavier bike, bigger battery, hurt people, whatever. Make them ride on the road and wear a helmet. Done. But what it does show is 250 watt motor is not too small to achieve those speeds. So you can keep the same engine size. That obviously will affect the range. I'm guessing that realistically this is going to do 60 miles. Throttle only at 24 mile an hour, you're probably going to get about 20 mile out of it, and it's a stab in the dark. Mine ain't. Throttle only. This is a real world legal test. Pedals, metal, studded, like them. Metal mudguards I love. All in all, it's a nice looking bike. It's a comfortable bike to ride, although I think you will agree it is massive. It's been sitting in my living room until I cleared out my lean-to, and it is a big old beast. Weight-wise, it's not the lightest thing. I mean, you wouldn't want to be carrying it over fences a great deal, but you could carry it over the fence. Yeah, not too bad. That 2 second delay is a real big issue. I'm going to see how this goes for the rest of the test. If you have any questions or anything, put them down below. I'll leave a link to it. I know that I've got a discount code. I don't know if I've got an affiliate link. If it is an affiliate link, obviously bear in mind I'll be getting some sort of kickback on this. I don't know what it is. I've not read what they've emailed me, because I never do. Either way, have a look at all the other reviews, make up your own mind. If you are going to buy it through my link, help the channel out. Anything else to show you? I know I'm going to get lots of comments about the colour. So be it, I don't actually mind it. There is a mounting point at the front for a front rack, which will be good for the camping. I do like this over my last one, purely because it looks like it can pull a low bore kit. If I do crank the speed up and stuff as well, it may give me a little bit more power going uphill. In a higher gear, I don't know. Lockable battery. It's an e-bike. Chinese e-bike. I think they retail about 1200–1300 quid at the point of this video. There'll be a link down below, check them out. Build quality, again, the welds, much like the other e-bike I looked at, are industrial but absolutely fine. Paint is fine. Everything on it looks a good job, to be honest with you. I do like those metal mud guards. Don't know if they're going to, that headlight will make Stevie want to squint. And the stand, I'm not kicking my feet on the stand either. It says it's got a maximum of 25 kilo on the back there. to maybe one of Gemma Collins's legs. I'm liking it. I need to get going and finish this review so I can go home and show my wife a good husband. 30 miles. It'll only take me an hour. Right then, so first and foremost, this thing is a bike. So we'll have a quick go at pedalling with no power assist. Bearing in mind, it's got big fat tyres. I'm in first gear currently. Third, and it's all right, to be fair. Oh, I need to walk with them gears a bit. Obviously, there's quite a lot more rolling resistance than you would normally get, but you could quite easily ride it home, although I would be puffing a bit up hills, I reckon. It's got the 6-speed Shimano Tawny, which is the same on most entry-level e-bikes. Yeah, no problem at all. You can definitely feel the rolling resistance. Ride position's quite comfy, which is good. The tyres do take out a lot of the little bumps and knocks in the road, and I can feel that suspension seat post actually doing what it's meant to do. There you go, I'm in top gear, 7th gear, doing 18.5 miles an hour. No pedal assist. Pulling away in 7th gear. Better change that down to 4th. And you're away. Getting into a hill. Up the pedal assist 3. So we're just coming up to our first climb of the day, which is about a 10% hill. I've cranked it straight up the pedal assist 5. I'm still in 7th gear. Hasn't kicked in yet because I'm actually doing 18 miles an hour. Kicked in now. Top gear still. A little bit of effort from the legs. Carrying me up here, not a problem. Change down. Yeah, changing down a gear. Still motoring up at the top speed of 15.5. I'm a couple of miles in on this ride, and so far it's all smooth. The hydraulic brakes are working well. The tyres and suspension seat posts are doing their job, which is a good thing. One thing I have noticed, and I don't know what they've done, as I say, the gearing this has got is the same as it is for most other e-bikes on the entry level. On my other one at 15.5 miles an hour, my legs were beating eggs. Now if you look here, I'm currently doing 26 miles an hour. The speed my legs is actually rotating at isn't huge. Obviously no engine assistance. Slowing right down now. And there it goes, kicks in, 15 miles an hour. Up this hill, again, another big hill, not a problem. Seating position is fine. You have got the paddle-like grips, which I like, not the solid, spiky ones. And I'm not leaning forward to have to put pressure on them. The display is very clear, very easy to read. Got all different settings on there for you to see. All in all, nice place to be. So just coming down this bumpy little track, testing out the suspension and the seat post. Suspension at the front you can lock out. They're entry-level faults, but they certainly do the job, no problem whatsoever. Looks like I will be getting to test out the mud guards later as well, because it's already starting to rain. Now, comparisons between this and the last e-bike I tested, and something that is, well, it is a negative for this, or I prefer it on the other. It's not a negative. When you start pedalling on this in pedal assist, it takes about 2 seconds for the motor to kick in, which, you know, is no big deal. It's 2 seconds. And also, as the pedals are spinning, the motor is working. The other one had a torque sensor. So the more effort you put in, the harder the engine works also. Now the reason that is a bit of a concern with this, I haven't tried it out yet, no doubt I will find out in due course, is that if you're going off-road and you're coasting down a hill on a bit of a technical area, right, then should you need power in an instant to get out of a bit of trouble, to climb a little hill, you've got that 2-second delay and then it's going to kick in. Now this bike does have a feature to help you overcome it, although not ideal, but it also means that the bike isn't strictly legal in this country because it comes with a throttle which you can turn off. So that means pulling away, you can pull away under throttle, get under steam, start pedalling, then you'll have the 2 seconds until the motor kicks in. Nice and bumpy this. So the throttle almost becomes a necessity for it. Very comfy ride though. No doubt I've already gone through that, so I won't hit it too much. This suspension seat post definitely does the job, even though it is a cheap budget entry-level type system. Let's go down there, make sure there are no cars, up and over. So, just coming off now onto the cycle track, things get a bit bumpier, nice tight gap there. No problem squeezing through those gates. I was a little bit concerned, with this being the first time of riding a fat tyre bike, that it'll be a little bit hard to manoeuvre. But to be fair, not at all. You do notice the road resistance when you're pedalling, but that's about it really. No doubt if it was a little bit technical, it could be a bit different. But as it stands, yeah, it just rides like an e-bike. I've tested out the speedo up against the inbuilt speedo, and it differs by an hour. So the onboard one says 18, my GPS one is saying 17. Not bad. I think a mile an hour difference on an e-bike just pottering around town really ain't a big deal, is it? But I'm now getting into some gravel. It certainly feels secure. I at no point feel like I'm going to lose any grip with the size of these tyres. And the bumps are absorbed nicely. I really can't say more. I'm going to pull over in a minute and show you the first half of this video. So then, just to show you what I mean, I'm at a standstill, get on, pedal, 1, 2, and there goes the engine. So now if you imagine needing that on a steep verge or incline, you could be in bother. That was me in 4th gear. My knee twinged, but I've got buggered knees, so ignore that. That ain't the bike's fault. Cruising along, pedal assist free, 10 mile an hour, no issues at all. I've seriously done my near mischief though. This is going to be a long ride now, and it's due to rain. Oh, that actually proper hurts. I might have to really beast this bike up to pedal assist 5 and let it carry my arse around the whole thing. That ain't good. So now if you look, I'm merely turning the pedals and the bike's engine's kicked in and it's cranking me along at whatever speed that is, 15 mile an hour. Which is, you know, the equivalent of having a throttle. Why not just let us have a throttle? But what it does mean is my now buggered knee is going to live another day. Slippery, slimy, muddy. No problem. Doesn't even feel in the slightest like that's going to go anywhere. I'll see when I get off if the back mudguard's doing its job. Front mudguard is ish. Well, no, it is. I'm covered in mud, but it has been raining for what feels like a year. So as you can see, we're on a track now that is definitely testing the suspension. And for the most part, it's doing all right. I mean, they advertise this as a full suspension e-bike. Now, obviously, it's not a full suspension e-bike. It's a front suspension e-bike with a suspension seat post. It hasn't got rear suspension other than that seat post. But although the seat post is entry level, it is 100% doing enough just to take out the thudding to my monkey stump. So much so, I'm probably going to take it off and put it on my moped for when I do my next trip. Right, a little bit congested here, dog walkers, cyclists. There's a mammal. Thank you. What a lovely person. The best thing about this e-bike is obviously you don't have to wear lycra to ride it. I'm not a good sight in lycra. Right, let's talk geometry of the bike. For the most part, I would say they've got this right. It's a nice comfy seating position. The distance between your arms and the way your arms are sort of straightish as you're riding, very good. One thing I would say, seat height. I don't know whether it's got to do with the size of the wheels or anything like that. I'm 5'9" and a fag butt, distinctly average in every way, slightly long in the legs, short in the trunk. But for me to raise this seat up to my optimum pedaling position actually means my feet are not on the ground. It's still a little bit low for me at the moment. Any lower, I'd be hopping off every time we stopped. But not a big thing, not a big thing at all. So yeah, another little negative there for you. For me, I still would say that I prefer proper bumpy road. I still say that I would prefer the torque sensor over the cadence sensor. It just makes you feel like you've got a little bit more control when you need it of the power delivery to the bike. I mean, there are plus and minuses for both. You can just ghost pedal on a cadence sensor and it will tow you along as if you've got a throttle. But with a torque sensor, it delivers the power as and when you need it. Obviously, mid-drive's even better. I've not got a mid-drive bike. All in all though, it's a comfortable ride. I am 14 mile in and it hasn't even said I've used my first bar of battery. Could be good, couldn't it? We'll see by the time I get home. I did use this a little bit, getting the 28 mile an hour and 24 mile an hour respectively. Same battery, didn't charge it up in between, so I'd expect it to be a little bit flat from that. However, let's ride. Waffle, waffle. So we have got the first battery bar lost at 16.2 miles, which is 15 miles really, because I already had 1.6 on there. Yeah, another 4 left. Do the math on that. So that's 60, 75 miles that's saying it's going to give me at this rate, which ain't too bad. I have cranked up the pedal assist because, as I say, I think I've done myself a mischief with this knee, and it ain't the bike's fault. I've had dodgy knees for ages. Not sure if you're going to be able to hear most of this because the wind is smacking me in the face. If it is coming out well, Movo mics, you're the shiznut. Not sponsored by them. I bought them. That was about 40 quid I think I paid. Come with 2 and the connection. to either the Insta or the GoPro, if you can hear me okay, as a, is that? No, it's a footpath. As a alternative to the road and stuff like that, inexpensive, can't argue with it. Shouldn't really be mentioning this. It's meant to be a review video. So the thing with this bike is, as you can see on pedal assist 5, gear number 6, it gets to top speed absolutely effortlessly and drags you up all the hills you will ever need to go. But it does lack the finesse. I mean, the motor's either on or it's not. So, which is fine. But it doesn't give you the feel of control as you would do if you were normally cycling. You know when to put the power down, when to not. So, where am I? I've only done this route God knows how many times. So yeah, straight away you're up to top speed and you can sit there comfortably all day long. Zero issues with it. I'm just a little bit, like now I've come to a stop. I haven't had to change down gears at all, so now I'm pulling away in 6th gear, which is going to be hard on the old legs and knees. And I've got 1, 2, and there we go, engine's kicked in. Doesn't sound a lot, but it's enough. Obviously I have got the throttle option. That throttle option really does eliminate that concern. Just saying what I see. Just saying what I see. I've cranked my throttle back into play, and as you can see, pulling away and then releasing makes all the difference in the world. If you're willing to take the risk and have the throttle active, that is entirely up to you. It's not for me to say, but it does make the riding experience a lot more manageable. I don't know how that'll play out should you need to use it off-road. I won't know until I take this bike out on a bikepacking trip. I'm now coming to some monster hills, 6th gear. I'm already doing over the speed limit, so the engine's not there. Might even need to change gear. We have lost another bar though, and we're only 20 miles in. I am being heavy on it. So yeah, it's carrying me up this hill. It's a steep hill, not sure how much you can see. A little bit tougher, changed down into 4th. Not putting any effort in, to be fair. Carrying me up there all right. 11 mile an hour, 3rd gear, 12 mile an hour, sorry. That was a steep hill. Straight up top speed again. Obviously, if I had the power cranked right up, I would have flown up that. But, got to work within the law, people. Right, so we're just coming up to the last of the big climbs now. Yeah, if I make it to the top of this without blowing out my hoop, you know the bike's done well. I'm in 6th gear, as you can hear the engine's kicking in. No effort so far. Not sure if you can make out how steep this is on the camera. I will be making it easy on myself by changing down a little way up, although it's powering up the hill. As it stands, it is no problem. Right, a little bit of a change there. Flying. No heavy breathing, no breaking a sweat. Flying. So there's a couple of big ones it's gone up with absolutely no effort. So, I'm now 25 miles into my ride. Pretty plain sailing. So I'll start to give you a rundown of how the bike's performed and my opinions of it. On the whole, I can feel me bum because I've been sitting on a bike seat. No such thing as a comfy bike seat. But, no worse than any other. I would say it's one of the most comfortable rides I've had doing this loop, this 30-mile loop. The bike handles absolutely fine. Brakes work well. Everyone's got to love a little bit of hydraulic braking. And it's been effortless, to be fair. I'm down to my last bar of battery though. So I'm looking at about 30 miles on a full charge, which is a little bit disappointing. Granted, to date about 15 of those miles have been at the pedal assist number 5, purely because of my knee. But even with that, a lot of the time I was up and over the speed limit, so that I was up like now, so I was pedaling the bike with no motor. So it's all well and good having a capable motor and a big battery at 48 watts. But it just goes to show I'm probably going to get 30-35 mile out of this, which isn't the best. Some of my camps that I go on are longer than that, which would mean I would need to charge it somehow for riding home. And I'll be carrying kit. A little bit of a concern. It's also a little bit irritating, purely because I have tested it where I cranked up the power and stuff, knowing this thing does 30 miles an hour and has 24 mile an hour on the throttle, and not being able to utilise it. When you are doing your 15.5 mile an hour and the engine kicks off, you know, makes you somewhat mad. But that ain't the bike's fault, that's the fault of the government. Not a huge amount of space there, was there? All in all, I'm impressed. It is a hell of a lot of bike for the money. I'll give it another charge and I'll go take it out on a bike camp just to see if it fares any better. Normally I'll be riding, you know, 12-13 mile an hour, pedal assist 3 or 4, just let the engine kick in and out and in and out. Got this knobhead up my arse. And it might achieve better. But as I say, 26 miles now, 1 bar of battery left. If you're going to predict 140 kilometres, you should really be getting at least halfway. The previous bike I'd done, you know, I had half a battery left after that loop. And I think the difference is the difference between the torque sensor and the cadence sensor. With the torque sensor, it only gives you the power you need. With this cadence sensor, it's either on or off. So therefore you're going to burn more juice, I'd say. You had enough of my chops flapping yet? But look, I'm now at a steady 22 mile an hour, under my own steam. It's a comfortable bike to ride. Fat tyres aside. But you're looking at a review for a fat tyre e-bike. I can't complain about the fat tyres. What are they called? Chung Yao or something? I can't say it without sounding racist. Anyway, I'm nearly home. I'm not too concerned about the battery life. Got about 3 miles left. Come on, you blighter. Here I am, 20 miles in of my 30-mile ride. Only live a mile up the road. Don't want any stalkers coming to follow me. I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of what I do and what I do not like about this bike. Positives first off. The fat tyres do take away all of the road vibration and things like that. They do a great job helping with suspension. Suspension's great, suspension seat post is great. The fact that you could carry at least 2 midgets on there is, you know, really, really good. Brakes are good, the light's good. All in all, the ride, the comfort and everything like that is good. Brake lights. Every bike I think should have them. Another good fact. All in all, I'm really, really impressed with this bike. But the negatives, and there are negatives. The power delivery. I can't get over the on and offness of it. So when I do take this out camping, I do think that I'm going to suffer a bit with it. And I do think that the power delivery with that delay and the on and offness of it means when I'm loaded up, the mileage that I'm going to get is nowhere near what I was getting on the other bike. They had the same size battery. So to get 30 miles on a full charge on this, albeit I did use pedal assist 5 quite a lot, but also I was going at my own speed for the first 10 miles at least. A lot of the time I wasn't using the engine. It's a little bit of a concern for me, which is a worry because I got rid of the other bike. I swapped it for a moped for another challenge. Keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, that is a bit of a worry for me. I much prefer the torque sensor of it. Everything else, it rides really well. It's served me really well. It climbs anything. Tyres are massive. It'll go off road. Everything about it is a good bike. The price makes it good. If you're using it short distances, you know you're not going to be doing over 20-30 mile. It will do everything you need it to do. If you're commuting, you'll have a very comfortable commute. Loads of places to put your kit. If you're like me and use these things for your little adventures and you want to be going more than 15 mile away from home on a trip, because you've got to get back 15 miles, it's a little bit concerning. I've got to give it a few more run outs before I make my final decision. I haven't tried it in the dark yet, but that light is really bright, just to see what it's about. The other good thing is the way they've done the gearing to enable you to get past the 15.5 mile an hour and still keep accelerating. The throttle, the fact that it's illegal but it's almost necessary to ride this bike is another thing that is more annoying with the government than this bike. I'm going to keep this connected. If I do get a tug, I'm just going to unplug it. I would love to crank the speed up, because when you're doing 30 mile an hour on this with battery, you know, it's like riding an old school moped. It makes commuting very, very, very doable. Without it at 15 mile an hour, I'm to live 10 mile away from my workplace. It's just not really doable if you want to arrive in a good state. For the money, the e-bikes that are priced around this price range, this has got so many features that they do not. Oh, there's one thing I did forget to mention. This is a, you can raise and lower the handlebars as well, which would help with the geometry. That geometry as well, slightly off for me, Mr. Average. Seat height to pedal height. You know, got to have the seat too high to put your feet down. But that could just be me. Could just be me. I am long in the legs, short in the trunk. People with shorter legs, actually no, it'd still work out, wouldn't it? Make your own mind up, have a look at other things. I'll put links and that down in below for them. Overall, I've been impressed. It's a cracking bike. I would get range anxiety, which is a shame. Or just not ride it so hard. I could always just not ride it so hard. What's the point of having an e-bike if you're just tottering along? Here endeth my chat on the Engwe E26. It does get a thumbs up from me, 1.5 thumbs up. I'd give it 2. If it had that longer range, it'd definitely get a 2 thumbs up. Change it out for a torque sensor rather than a cadence sensor, you'll be getting 2 thumbs up and a little smile. Till next time, ta-ra!